Vladimir Putin is a hostile foreign actor, one we should all be concerned about. And now he's literally openly mocking the President of the United States for his own amusement. And frankly, I find it, as an American citizen, humiliating.
Sean Hannity on Russia's president challenging President Biden to a live televised debate. This after the president called Putin a killer and said he would pay a price over a U.S. intelligence report on Russia trying to interfere in the 2020 election. Here's how the White House reacted to Putin's suggestion.
I'll have to get back to you if that is something we are entertaining. I don't have anything to report to you in terms of a future meeting. The president will, of course, be in Georgia tomorrow and quite busy. Go ahead.
I think she almost said circle back and swallowed it. Anyway, President Biden, leaving the White House in the last hour, said he will speak with Putin at some point, but nothing more specific than that. Buck Sexton, your take.
Remember when Biden was brought into the Obama administration as the VP because he had such a long history of foreign policy? And then people that actually pay attention to foreign policy pointed out that he had a long history of being wrong for about 30 years on every major foreign policy challenge that he ever tackled or dealt with. I mean, this is a guy who's been pushed along now, as we all know, by a media that's completely in his back pocket. And on the issue of how he's going to show America to the rest of the world, I think that our adversaries, notably the countries that can actually cause problems for us in different ways, Russia, China being the much bigger of the two concerns, see this and they view Putin. I mean, they view Biden as something of a clown. And what Biden's saying here is, I think, really just meant to play to the Russia collusion delusion base of the Democrat Party by saying things to Putin that are, it's just unhelpful and causes nothing but problems, really, because there are areas where he's going to have to deal with Russia, and Biden's going to find a way to make the worst possible decisions, I can assure you.
You know, I'm curious, Katie, what exactly Putin would, if he's sincere about this, even want to chat about. Those were my words, calling it a debate, because in America, that's what we would call two people who probably don't agree, getting together and talking the issues. He calls it a discussion, a chat. What are they going to talk about on live TV?
Well, you know, it's on live television. It's no surprise that two world leaders who are adversaries would get together and have a conversation. Every president has done that with President Vladimir Putin, including Barack Obama and President Trump. But this isn't about getting together and having a conversation about policy and sanctions and energy from Russia to Europe. This is about Vladimir Putin watching Joe Biden operate and seeing that just this week he's referring to Kamala Harris as the President of the United States during a very benign statement about vaccine distribution in the United States. So he's seeing a weakness in Joe Biden's ability to make basic statements, and he's seizing on it to embarrass the president. And also, you know, it's not just about Russia. You saw China yesterday, members of the Chinese Communist Party meeting with the Secretary of State in Alaska and thoroughly embarrassing us there on American soil, you know, using talking points from the left about the status of race in America against our Secretary of State, and them sitting by and kind of taking it live in front of reporters. And so it has not been a good week in terms of the strength that America is showing against Russia or the Chinese.
I can't help but think, Katie, just a quick follow-up with you, that this isn't also the determination that how dare America talk to us about free speech when their own president won't go live with free media? Like, how you know, it does make us look like we're hypocritical.
Well, yeah, the president is holding a press conference next week for the first time, but he you know, is the latest president to do it. And also, let's not forget that they have locked out reporters from the border detention facilities. They're not letting anybody in, have locked them out of ride-alongs with Border Patrol, and not answering questions directly from President Biden. And if Biden can't answer questions from reporters, he certainly can't do a one-on-one with Vladimir Putin on live television.
Who's likely to show up like that picture on a horse? Kim? I'm being facetious.
Yeah, yeah. Well, we know that these two have a long history together. You know, back in 2009, then VP Biden said that Russia was the biggest threat to America. He continues to say that. And remember, he actually said he wanted to do a reset, push a reset button when it comes to dealing with Russia. And that is when he hoped that Vladimir Putin was not going to run for a third term. Then he did, and of course, he backed out on saying that he was going to reset with Russia. So it is a long history with these two. I thought it was interesting that Vladimir Putin responded to Joe Biden's, killer statement by saying, takes one to know one. So I think that would be interesting just to hear what he was referring to in that statement. But I would love to see a live interview. Running for office myself, those are the best interviews because unfortunately there's a lot of edits that are done when things are packaged. So I would love to see a live interview between the two. And I think they should hash it out. Why not? Why not be just completely transparent with Russia and with Americans that want to know what's going on?
Look at Klim Klacik, just stepping up, getting ready for a live debate, and we can't get the president. Well, I guess we'll see what happens next Thursday, right? On the 64th day of his presidency, how many questions he'll actually take. Real quickly, Buck, your last thoughts.
Look, Joe Biden is going to have to step it up a lot before I think, or rather, people are going to realize around the world that he's not up for the challenge. And those of us who have been feeling all along like that was clear, we see evidence in these early indicators on foreign policy, forget about the progressive left-wing stuff we've seen on the domestic front, and say, we told you so. And that's what we're already getting to the we told you so point with Joe isn't up for this.
Yeah, well, Mitch McConnell told me. He said, I didn't ever see him as a moderate. I always knew that he'd have a left-wing government and administration, rather. So he didn't fool everybody in terms of what you're talking about.